Sharp came back once again. Shot that video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the last few videos. I've just been trying to record some videos when I lead off for the job core thing. Who knows how that's going to turn out. But make sure you guys have some form of entertainment. It won't be EPUB, at least it'll be something, right? And this video is, you heard me talk about the comic book, heard me explain it. I don't know if you're going to watch this, but and it's the origins of the Sandman the Terrorizer. It's not about the backstory, but the origin of the concept of itself, right? So this starts a long time ago. Long time. It was 9 years ago from this date. Well, beyond this date. But 9 years ago, I decided to make a fan comic of Naruto. So a while back ago, right? I was drawing up, you know, maybe decided to add a few friends in there. Had this whole plot, so on and so on. Characters showed up, you know, so on and so on. And I enjoyed it, right? I loved it. But eventually, during that summer, cause that happened in 8th grade. So during that summer, going into the 9th grade, I saw E3 and I was watching some angry game reviews. I was like, you know what, I could come up with some game ideas that would be better and so on and so on, right? So I started coming up with a game idea after game idea after game idea after game idea, right? Back to back. And then I was like, you know what, I could turn that whole fan comic thing into my own thing, right? And that's when I started developing the clans and so on and so on and so on. I started to flesh things out and do so on and so on. So there was like a big fleshing out period of making characters and come up with storylines and so on and so on, and fleshing out the abilities that everyone has and can do. So at this point, there is pretty much nothing resemblance Naruto left in there. Nothing. And I do mean nothing. I stripped that thing to the bone. Made sure I was thorough. So there's that. And I might give you the origin of my drawing one day. A live stream showing my drawing books and everything like that. But it was there, right? So then around the 10th grade, after fleshing everything out, adding up characters and learning how to draw female characters, doing so on and so on, and come up with some character concepts. And the 9th or 10th grade, that's when I chose to work on issue 1. The main series is going to be called Electrolyte, starring this character, introduced to a father and son, so on and so on. Be like the school type thing. Programs, fighting and so on and so on, right? And I worked on issue 2 and issue 3. And by the time the 11th grade came up, I was on issue 4. And I went on to issue 5. I never finished issue 5. I stopped halfway in issue 5. So you know what? I came up with this character named Consumer. This gonna be this character, right? Why don't I just give him a backstory? Why not? Don't got anything else to do. So I already pretty much do the through like a backstory is to give him his own book thing. And that's after throughout the years I came up with the other characters and do so on and so on, right? So I came up with other characters and I'm like, no, let's make a Kazuma series. And while developing this series, I thought of a character. Now there's a reason why Sandman had some like initial design similarities. I used to be a real big fan of Gara. So that was like a initial blueprint. I want a character with red hair. It was some dark eyes, but I didn't want it to be Gara. I didn't want it to be Gara at all. So I used to have like this whole surfing shirt I used to have. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice shirt. I give him that shirt. Give him a shark necklace I used to have. It's really blam. Draw the hair like I wanted. Bam! And I call him Red Sandman. And he made his first debut in Kazuma. It was like, I guess it's a whole graphic novel. I'll show you that one day as well. But I didn't want it to be Gara at all. I wanted to be his own character, but it did take some like inspiration, some design liberties. But what about the whole red thing? There's a reason why he's called Red Sandman, and there's a reason why he starts with the series with black hair. That's why. Like there's a reason, right? I don't want to go into it spoiling anything, but there's a reason for that. And with the introduction of Red Sandman and a part he plays in the story with a flashback, I got through, but like at least like around like 8th into 12th grade, right? And I was working on Kazuma, made out the characters. I made Sandman, and I was fleshing him out throughout the months. But he's not as fleshed out as he is now, because I really applied that thing and do so and so, right? But after finishing up the Kazuma, adding backstory, introducing characters and so on, by the end of 12th grade, Kazuma was only, I think, 60 to 70% the way through. I spent the next 2 months while being pressured to get a job, working on Kazuma and finishing it, and eventually I did it. I finished it. I was done. And I got my mother to print out some copies of the book, start sending them out to publishing companies, the Kazuma or the Electrolyte, and it's been 5 years since then. Yeah, 2019's been 5 years. Well, going on 5 years. I haven't had one fucking response. One response. No, we're moving on other cases. No, correction. I had no response from Avalanche. But some other guys is like, it'd be better if, you go to a few conventions and do it yourself, or another girl before that was like, you're not what we were looking for right now. But overall, from the people I sent it off to, so everybody who was sending submissions, so I was like, you know what? During that time, I like Sandman, so I drew like a mini Sandman, like only 3 pages. I was like, I like that. I like the things it was hinted towards, because the Kazuma thing is flesh out. And I added some details to the backstory, which pretty much the character was done, the book was already done. So like Sandman, you know what? I like Sandman as a character, right? Once I flesh him out as a character, so and so, right? There's a start from that, and just I do like a webtoons thing, right? I'm gonna post it up on webtoons. This is between before I started working with my uncle in like August. So this is going like to June, July. So that's what the first issue. I do the first issue of Sandman, 32 pages, and 2 days to a day or so, somewhere around there. It didn't take long. And the reason why the drawings look the way they do was because I've just recently, in between, like in Langston Hughes High School, so you can, so on and so on. They gave us these tablets, and I like animated digitally, and I kind of drew digitally, but I didn't really draw as much as I did on paper, right? I just tested and I feel like the thing. So that's why you see some of the early artwork. That's why it looks like that. I wasn't really used to the whole drawing digitally type thing. So that's why you look at issue 1, and you just, you didn't really get rid of all the white spots, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not as good as I was drawing on paper at that time. Especially before I really went in depth with the Microsoft Paint, or Microsoft Paint added in some extra details where it's not just one size and it goes up to 3 and it's 5 and 8. Now it's like added some more brush tips later on. So that was like around like what? We'll get to that. So the episode 1, 32 pages, actually was great. Even down there I was coming up with other characters. That's when I was coming up with a money. So when I introduced a money at the end of issue 1, I was like, I can't remember my immediate thoughts, but I was like, I knew I wanted to make a sister for her, right? I was going to call her Milo. And the whole Milo thing comes from, you ever seen a movie called Balls of Fury?
And teaching Milo is forbidden.
I don't think the word is Milo, but he kept calling the main character in Balls of Fury's outsider, in Chinese, I believe, in Mandarin. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's traditional Chinese or just regular Chinese. I don't know which one. I'm like, Milo, I call her Milo, right? That's why her name is spelled the way it is, but she's Money's bigger sister. And that's when I started to think of the introduction. I'm going to do this next part. I want to show off what Sand's father looked like without spoiling who Sand's father is. Alright? Milo, how she's eventually going to be introduced during the conversation, and hints towards Kazuma in his own book, and so on and so on. And hints towards all this future stuff. I wrote this stuff for looking like a few sheets of paper. Now, the reason why there's so many gaps in between is because when we got to the we still at issue 2. So that's introducing Milo and that money relationship, so on and so on. Introduce what you got the Kazuma thing from. Introducing a future character after that, and you get to see a cameo from Gambino, which plays a bigger role in the future. I always had this ideal for 3 characters, but I didn't flesh out those characters, well, exactly what they look like until like later on, right? But by this time, like the general idea of the overall story is pretty much done, right? By the time like issue 2 came, so we get the backstory and the Yakuza there, the Cherry Blossom Village, and so on and so on, and the whole let's go have fun on the beach, and that's where we get the whole Milo ending, where a Rakua game member shows up, and so on and so on. So the reason why there's such a gap in between, like episode 2 and 3, is I was supposed to fit everything between episode 3 part 1 and 4 all in one episode. I just wrote down some ideas and concepts, right, what I wanted it to be. So I never knew those just quick points of ideas, like the conversation between Milo and Carla, and the stuff going on with the money, and well, the money stuff, the Rakua games. I was not expecting it to turn out to be 132 pages. That was never the plan. So I'll make it just like, wow, this is supposed to fit in only one thing. So that's why I broke it up, because, you know, on webtoons you have like a 20 megabyte limit, and you know that obviously is past the limit, right? So that's why I broke it up like that. So that's why there's such a massive gap. And, you know, I had to go to job here in between overall. But that's overall the origin story of how I came up with the character, the influences, and so on. So I know people are just going to say it's just going to be a ripoff or a knockoff of something else. It is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe it's not. Well, you know, that reason so. Okay, then, buddy, knock yourself out. I do this for me. I do this because I enjoy it. Not just to prove, well, you know, so and so. Just, I'm gonna make myself an American manga. No, not to prove a point to somebody else. So, and I've been like this for some years now. Working on this book, coming up with the concepts. I've been working on this idea for like 9 years. And I made, well, why stop at issue 5? Why not start from a lecture like issue 1? And, well, because all of that was on paper. But Kazuma's on paper. If I want to flesh out the character, because, you know, I want to flesh him out, right? I already knew what was going to happen to issue 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, already up to 10, right? I already knew what was going to happen, already written down, right? So I don't want to hurt, right? Kazuma turned into a decent-sized book of itself. So, I was not expecting that either. And then on top of that, Sandman, you already see how long Sandman is. We're at 300 pages now. 300. I was not expecting it to go up to 300 pages. And we still got quite a bit of way to go. So a graphic novel, boy, this is going to be... Whew, this is quite the stuff right here. But for one of these in-between videos, when I'm away, I just wanted to give you an origin story. I know everyone's going to watch this. For those that do care, or was just interested into my thought process of the comic book and how everything works out and so on. So, that's just pretty much the origin story of it. Of how I get up to creating the character of Sandman, so on and so on. And how you tie into the other characters. But no, he was not the first. The first character I've ever made wasn't a Naruto fan character. The whole idea, when I say it was like a fan-made thing, it was going to take place in Naruto, but not be Naruto. So it's going to be these two guys fighting, one guy with a Rinnegan, one guy doesn't have it, to be just told fighting. So that's why I added my friend. Well, somebody used to be friends with Khalid. That's why he's in there. Well, you know, what's going to be this whole camera ghoul thing, but I don't know. And it was like a hint towards in the middle. Well, you know, just like this whole thing happening, inspired by Charlie Bass and doing so and so. So, it was never meant to be, well, you know, I'm just going to take all these characters and do my own thing. Some of the characters are inspired by others. Even that feature design, not one-to-one, but they are inspired by hints towards them. There's like a Dofi hint in there. And so on. So, but there's no one like directly like the Naruto. Well, the Naruto name is used, but that's not the same character. Those are two different people. He's not blonde haired and blue eyed. That's because I just went through a homage to the name Naruto, not actually have him in there. So I want to do that, but that's why some people be inspired. But a lot of things that's not. Money just made up on a whim. Malo made up on a whim. Even like some other things like the collars and so on, so just made up on a whim. I got inspired by a collar by listening through our Richard Mara remix. Pretty fun. And even then, not even inspired by Richard Mara. What is what it is. You want to call it a ripoff, knock yourself out. What to say, so and so. Is it American manga? No, it's just a comic book, man. It's just a comic book, nothing more, nothing less. There's no fluff, there's no nothing. I just want to make stories. I want to make movies. I want to make games. I want to do so and so. Sometimes I question my own life. Could I made different decisions that could have got me there quicker? Because I was going. So somebody said, "Well, I start off with a comic book." It's because I knew that if I was going to make a movie, I'm going to need funding. I'm going to need production. I'm going to need this huge backing. I'm going to have to please the investors and the studios and do so and so. So that's one thing. Right? Well, you can make a game. I'm going to have to learn Unity or some other thing. I'm going to have to learn programming so I can program the game the right way. I'm going to have to learn animating. And I don't really have the funds at that time, especially in 2019, fresh out of high school in between, to actually do any of that stuff, right? So, and that goes the same thing with the TV show as well, right? Or so on and so on. So the comic book was something I could do and get out to the world immediately. There was no doubt about it. There was no hesitation. It's just me, a drawing tablet, and that's it. So before it was, you know, just me and a piece on the paper, but, you know, I can't really share Kazuma without a scanner, and I didn't have money for a scanner. So, you know, that's why with the Sandman, I was like, with a drawing tablet I recently bought, because I no longer had the school tablet, right? with the pen and stuff. Like, so with the drawing tablet with so-and-so, I'm going to actually draw out the book, put it out there, promote it, and do things myself, because, you know, there's no guarantee. Because at first I was going to submit the stuff, and I never heard anything back. So no matter how many, you know, cover letters I made, or explained this so-and-so, or, oh, say this bye-bye, this is so-and-so, I never heard anything back. Never. Somebody say, why keep going for it? Why keep bump your head into a glass that you may never, ever break into? How come your willpower not broke? How come you're still so optimistic? How come it haven't just, well, you know, guys, I tried and I failed. Because I truly don't believe I had my chance to shine yet. Let's put it this way. If I put my book out there, issue number 1, not only does nobody buy it, the reviews are saying it's trash, you know what? I'll more than likely still continue it, but, you know, I did my best, right? I put it out there, had my chance in the spotlight to try to make something for myself, and it didn't turn out all right. But we don't have that opportunity. We don't have that time to say, well, you know, it hasn't given a fair shake and people say it's trash, no one's going to buy your book. When you don't have that happen, and you work on something for so long, you put so much just to throw it to the side. I've came up with too many ideas for me just to be, well, you know, I'm just going to blend into the background. That's not happening. Something will be made. I will be able to live better. Some generational curses has to end. The cycle got to end one way or another. 50K a year is not enough. All this stuff is not enough. It's not enough at all. And I want more.
I want more.
So, I don't need to be a multi-millionaire. If I was making 24K a year with the book for the rest of my life, you know what? I'll accept that. Get a part-time job and just live like that. I'll fully accept that. I have no problems then. Because the money is just a means to an end. I actually enjoy this stuff. So when I say, you know, I'm hyped up about e-porn, this stuff is better than drugs, it is. This stuff makes me happy. This is the stuff I enjoy. This is the stuff I live for. Ideas, concepts, everything else is just so and so. I've done auditions to do acting thing, but I don't got the funds to support that. Not including the fact I might not be working at that job for that long. I did it. So it's just, I don't know. You try, and eventually you try so hard and try so much for so long. Why are you still trying for? Because it's just what I do. Well, there's a reason behind it. At this point, it's been going on for over 500 years. I've forgotten why. I just know I gotta keep on trying. So the person asks, you gonna do this till you die? Yeah. Because if there's a way to live better, and to make everyone else have a chance to live better, when you can actually contribute something to the world, there's no guarantee it's gonna work, or that you're gonna make it to see it happen. But why just throw it away and just, you know, just roll up and just turn buddy side up? Ain't happening. You know, no one questions what happens when the lions die. A lot of people just say, well, they're badasses, and, you know, they're tough and they're strong. You know, it's a sad desire of realization of, if you were to turn belly side up against the rival lion, you're going to die. And dying and getting eaten alive is a lot more painful than fighting back. So, with no choice but your back against a corner, even though you're outgunned and outmanned 4 lions to 1, it's a lot easier to fight than it is just to sit there and get ripped to shreds. Some people, for that lion, if you're not rocking a hard place, you can extend the suffering, make it last longer, or you could just have it real quick and very painful, very painful. It's not easy getting eaten alive, you know. It's not going to be over in a few minutes. So you take a few minutes of pain, or you take a few hours of pain, but knowing that you died, and eventually they're going to snap your spine, you're going to die instantly, I take option 2. I just can't let it go. I just can't roll over and just say, oh well, best of luck, tough luck to you. Wish you the best. Oh well, I can't do that. No, I can't. I can't. No.
But you keep coming back for more and more. Why?
You got your own pride. You're just going to roll over and just let it all go. You're going to let somebody show up and snatch your future from me. If you want it that bad, you can pry it from my cold, dead hands as I'm stretched out across my back after giving everything I could to protect it. You can have it then. You've earned it. But like Gohan said, at least I'll make him work for it.
No, I guess the bear's cut into that one.
Well, at least I'll make them work for it.
You got to work for this. Put in some real work. I'll make sure it's worth it. I'll make sure you remember it to the end of your days. Your grandchildren will know about this. The plight of the last line of the Kawaii tribe. You know how I got these scars, grandson? You know, he was one line, you know, he just would not give up. He got 2 broken legs. You know, one of his claws are messed up, you know, just one of his eyes are gouged out, but he just keep going. He's just not going down, you know. We could just go in there and hop on him, but, you know, one bad claw hit to the face, you know, you could break your jaw, and, you know, you're just going to starve to death. And a lot of people don't know what true courage is, what true bravery is. It's not that you do something to prove something to somebody. It's the fact that you do something, you do what others would not. It's like War said in Darksiders. I choose what once a coward did not. It's not a sense of bravery to prove how big or bad you are. It's something that you do because it's a part of your character. It's part of who you are. It's like, it's like the whole man thing. It's a part of who you are and what you are. It's not just, well, you know, all right, guys, we're gonna do this because, you know, that's what the alpha wolves do and the lions do. No, it's not what it is. Depending on how much they can understand, they're just animals living out the best they can. Until they're not. The tiger's big and bad until it get poisoned. The Black Death is impenetrable until you shoot him. So, this whole conversation of what it means to live, so on and so on, the people that already know and people who never will understand until they die. It's a very sad existence. But hey, the choice is up to yours. You can spend all your life fighting and move an inch, or you can accept where you are and just go nowhere. At least I would have moved that inch. At least I would, if I was a tree, I would have grown a little bit to the right, even if I was get struck by lightning, young. At least I did something. Well, you won't be able to live to appreciate it. It's not about me being able to live to appreciate it. It's about me being able to do it, period. No matter how small the victory, no matter how minuscule it is, it was something. Then just, well, you know, I'm just another person out there clocking in. That's it. That's it. Just there's another person. It's not about being the most popular person in the world. If I made thousands of dollars, but nobody you walk down the street, or anybody for that matter, even knows what I do, I could accept that. I really could. Even though you're a screenwriter, you're a spectator, you don't help to all this stuff, and no one knows who you are. But you get paid well for it, but no one knows who you are. It'll be real sad, But I could accept that. Because like I said, going mainstream does not help you. It may pay the bills for a short time period, but like always, they turn your back on you. When they toss you to the trash, what are you then? A has-been, a should-have been, a used to be. And that's a very sad way to go out, living for the crowd. Because at the end, the crowd's not going to pay your bills. The crowd's not going to show up when you're getting your chemotherapy or you're getting your dialysis. The crowd does not care in the long run. They never will. They're never going to. There's been people 80 years, no, for over 100 years since cinema has been around. There's been something. And look where they end up now. Another has been, another used to be, another that we used to talk about. Bang. Got a solid dedication. I do question why the people live. And why they spend through something for a bunch of strangers. You don't pay your bills that you know absolutely nothing about. Nothing about. It's a very strange phenomenon. And you would expect there would be books wrote about this, but nope. There's books about everything else, right? Yeah, it is, right? But overall, I just want to give you guys an origin story to my Sandman characters and why I go so hard into it. I spent so much time, so much dedication into this. It's just, I'm just supposed to roll over and just let it go. Nah, I can't do that. If I gotta work as an electrician to fund my project, I'm gonna work as an electrician. I'm doing this till I die. There's no walking away from it. It's the worst sensation in the world. Worse than any drug fiend. Worse than any disease. It's a something that you cannot fight. Something that you were built with. It's a desire to do better, to live better, to improve people's lives, to help people out. And some days you think it's a lot easier if you're just a scumbag or somebody who was heartless. Very sad. But overall, I've been Mr. WK. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.